Hey everybody, welcome to the lock shop. I'm sitting here at work. Hopefully I can get this recorded real quick before anybody interrupts me. I apologize, I'm not in the craft room. It is just a little too chilly for the craft room. We actually had snow last night. However, it wasn't enough to stick. The ground was completely dry with nothing on it this morning. So that's a good thing. But anyway, I thought I would hop on here and answer some questions that Terry from Nana's Crochet tagged me in. Let's try and move this down a little bit. There you go, that's a little better. She tagged me in two different tags. One of them was the 10 questions tag, and the other one was a fall questions tag. So let's run through these and get them over with. And if I look that way, that's because that's where the door is, and I'm seeing people walk by to make sure they don't come in. Anyway, the 10 questions tag. Does counting stitches stress you Does counting stitches stress you out or calm you down? None of the above. Well, actually, sometimes they do stress me out, especially when I lose track of where I'm at when I count, or if I count and don't have enough or have too many. But on average, for the most part, if it's like when I'm doing ribbing or doing a decrease, or like with if I'm like increasing or decreasing or have a specific pattern that I'm doing, I will count every single stitch as I go to ensure that I have the correct number. Question number 2, what was your first project ever? The first project that I remember doing was actually for a county fair when I was probably in 7th grade. Yeah, it would have been the summer between 7th and 8th grade. I was in 4-H for one brief year, and I made some crocheted suspenders. And moving on to question number 3, what did you do with your first project? Well, I entered them into the fair. I got 2nd place on them, and they were purple with yellow trim around them, and I used them with a skirt and shirt that my mom had made, which it went along perfectly. We coordinated specifically the colors to match the skirt and the shirt that my mom had made. I have no clue where those suspenders went. Who knows? That was a long time ago. Number 4, what is your favorite beverage to have while crocheting? I normally don't have a beverage with me when I'm crocheting unless I'm at work, and it depends on where I'm at, what I have. Usually I don't have anything at all, though. I do have water here with me, but it's not here with me, and I'm not drinking it as I crochet. I have to walk that way to get to it. So I usually don't have a beverage handy while I crochet. Question number 5, do you buy your yarn in person or online? I prefer to buy my yarn in person. I have bought yarn online previously, and I was okay with what I bought, but what I bought wasn't exactly what I wanted or what I thought I was getting. So I prefer to go to the yarn store, preferably Hobby Lobby. That is my number 1 choice for purchasing yarn, because I like to touch it and smell it. Yes, I smell my yarn. Touch it and smell it and just see all the pretty colors and match things up together. Question number 6, is there a specific stitch or technique that you dread doing? Not really. I would say previously the purl stitch when I'm knitting, but I've done enough knitting that purl and I get along really well. I don't mind purl anymore. And no, unless it's something other than just a basic stitch, I'm okay with it. If it's more than a basic stitch, then it might intimidate me a little bit more. Alright, question number 7. Do you use sharp tip or blunt tip needles? I don't know, whatever I grab. I think most of mine are blunt tip that I use, but I've never really paid attention. I just use whatever I grab, whether it's sharp or blunt, whichever. But that's like yarn needles. That's not, ones that I would use for yarn. What advice do you have with fuzzy yarn? Depends on the fuzzy yarn. Some of it is not too bad to work with. Some of it is horrible to work with. Unless you want a challenge, stay away from it. If it's gifted to you, depending on what it is, mix it with something else. like the eyelash yarn, mix it with something else. If it is like the Lion brand homespun, I don't care for that. I consider it a fuzzy, wonky, weird yarn, but mix it with something else like Tunisian crochet. Use it for the return stitch with a worsted weight yarn. It works great. Number 9, what colors do you pick for fall? Whatever I pull off the shelf, whatever I want to work with. I mean, is this a fall color? That's what I'm working with right now. Number 10, where's the strangest place you've ever found your hook? Well, it wasn't a hook that I actually personally owned, but the strangest place that I've ever found a crochet hook is hubby and I were cleaning out a storage unit. He had taken most of the stuff out. We went out late at night and was finishing up the last bits and pieces and sweeping it out. And there was a crochet hook on the ground. I was super excited. It's a size F, and it's one of those ones with a rubber grip on it. I've only used it once. I don't know if I like it or not. But that is the strangest place I've ever found a crochet hook. So I guess it's mine now because I found it. But yes, that is kind of strange. And if you want to know about the strangest place I've ever found yarn, I will link a video down in the description box below for you to go watch that. That was earlier this year on Memorial Day. It was bizarre. So, the next question, these are the fall tags. Number 1, what is your favorite fall sweet treat? I don't know. Whatever. Maybe candied sweet potatoes? Does that count as a sweet treat? I love me some candied sweet potatoes, and the only time I ever eat them is around Thanksgiving and Christmas time. Or if we happen to go to a buffet and they're on the buffet, I will get me a little scoop of those. Red apples or green apples? I prefer red apples. Doesn't really matter the kind of red apples. Any red apple is good. Green apples are good too. It's been a really long time since I've had a green apple, but I do not like the yellow apples. Do not give me yellow apples. I do not like them. What is your favorite fall sport? Crocheting. I am not into sports. We don't watch sports or participate in many sports or attend any sports events, so I'm going to say crochet. What is your favorite fall activity? Crochet. We don't really go out and do a whole lot. I do like to walk through the leaves when they get crunchy though and crunch the leaves, but that's only a really short amount of time that happens. What is your must-have fall purchase? There's nothing that I really must have for fall. I'm trying to think. I really don't know. Yarn, maybe? I don't know. There is really nothing that I must have for fall for a purchase. Do you pick your own pumpkins or get them at the store? We normally don't get pumpkins, but if we do, we get them from the store or they are given to us. We do have a pumpkin that my husband got for his birthday, which is on Halloween, so thus the pumpkin for Halloween. But I do plan on using that pumpkin to make, pumpkin bread and roasted pumpkin seeds and other yummy pumpkin dishes. Real or fake pumpkins? Real pumpkins. Fake pumpkins are just kind of boring unless you're using them for small type decorating at Halloween. We do have some little plastic ones, but other than that, real pumpkins are the thing. What is my favorite Halloween costume? I haven't decorated. I haven't dressed up a whole lot for Halloween. It just wasn't a thing that was celebrated when I was growing up, and really didn't celebrate it too in depth with our boys. We did let them dress up and go out trick-or-treating when it wasn't too cold, but for the most part we just stayed home and handed out candy. However, though, the two coolest costumes that I've ever had, or that I've ever dressed up in, and 99% of my costumes have all been homemade. The first one was in high school, and my friend and I, they had a costume contest for our church harvest party, and a friend and I went in together on a costume. I'll see if I can find a picture and I'll insert it, but let me tell you about it. But anyway, we parked out in the family's driveway that we're hosting the party, and my mom and dad got out, and we knew that we were being watched. little interruption there. That was a college softball team. We have a junior college in our town wanting to know if we wanted to donate some money. But anyway, back to the costume. I believe I was saying we parked in the family's driveway that was hosting the party, and my mom and dad got out, and my friend and I were sitting there trying to figure out where we were going to go to put our costume on. And there were some bushes right behind where we parked. And we knew that there was some people sitting in cars out there so they could kind of see who was going in and who was dressed as who. So we got out, took an armload of stuff, went behind the bushes, put our costume in, or put our costume on, and we had to walk up to the house. Now that was a challenge. The next challenge was, once we got in, we had to go downstairs, which was a huge challenge. Thankfully, the stairs had carpet on them, and I was like, okay, we're going to sit down. I will be sitting on your lap. We have to slide downstairs. So, what we did is we dressed up as an old lady. We used trash bags as our stockings. We didn't have any shoes on, but our trash bags as our stockings, so black trash bags that we put over our legs and duct taped them up or taped them up somehow. I used a white trash bag as a dress. I had a black trash bag as a shawl. And I wore white, my band gloves, which were white, so my hands were covered up. And then I had an old lady mask or a grandma mask that I put on. My friend, who was shorter than me, which she still is shorter than me, she was behind me, so we were kind of a hunchback grandma. And like I said, we got first place, and everybody's like, we've seen two people get out of the car, but only one person went in, and they were a little confused. The other cool costume that I ever did, which once again was homemade, and it was just me personally, was the year before Steve and I got married. I was working at the local Hardee's, and they were having a costume contest for the day shift. I worked the day shift, I worked the lunch, and because it was right after I got out of classes at college. So I worked, my aunt and I was staying with my aunt and uncle, and I worked with, my Aunt Teresa worked with me, and she braided my hair. We took wire and actually braided my hair so the braids, the ponytails would stick straight out. And what I did so I could go to classes, I just took them and I pulled them back and put a ponytail holder in them to hold them down behind me, or behind my head, so they didn't stick straight out. But once I got to work, I went in and I put my clothes on, which I believe I had like a sundress or something that I'd put patches on. I can't really remember. All I remember is the hair, but my hair was sticking straight out. And everybody knew exactly who I was when they seen me. It's like Pippi Longstockings. Like, yep, that's me. I dressed up as Pippi Longstockings. And I won first place. Everybody they put me in the drive-thru window to take the money and hand the food out because my costume was so cool. But I don't have any pictures of that, unfortunately. But those are the two best Halloween costumes that I've ever done. And I won for both of them. Okay, next question. College football or NFL? None of the above. I still don't understand how football works, even though I was in the band for 4 years, and they try to explain to me how it works. I have no clue. Raking leaves or no raking? I don't have a yard, so I don't have to worry about raking leaves. The leaves just blow down the street and the sidewalk, and I enjoy watching them blow. Number 11, what is your favorite soup? I would have to say my favorite soup is probably the homemade tomato soup that Steve makes. Actually, I make it too, but it's his recipe. It is so good. Just, if you've ever had the Campbell's tomato soup made with milk, just imagine that, only homemade style. Oh my word, it is so good. Which, we're actually making that for this weekend. So if y'all want to come over and have some homemade tomato soup, you're more than welcome to come. Let's see. What is your favorite fall candle scent? I don't really have a fall candle scent. Mine is more of a winter candle scent because I really like the smell of like pine or fir balsam. I love pine smell. Number 13, do you love or hate pumpkin spice? I put pumpkin spice in my banana bread. Makes it taste really delicious. But that's the only pumpkin spice that I use. I really don't care for, you know, lattes or anything like that. So I don't really do much pumpkin spice. Do I prefer tall or short boots? I wore tennis shoes year round, so that question is kind of invalid because I don't wear boots. Number 15, what is your favorite Halloween candy? I don't eat a whole lot of Halloween candy because, well, chocolate would be my favorite. But other than chocolate, I like candy corn. And I like those little peanut butter candy thingies that are normally wrapped in the orange or the black wax paper. Those things are amazing. Oh, yes. That would be my 2 favorite Halloween candies. Pumpkin spice latte? No, because I don't really like pumpkin spice and I don't drink lattes. Hayride or corn maze? I would probably say either. I've been on hayrides before. I've never been to a corn maze, but if I was invited or we decided to go to one, either would be fine. It wouldn't matter. And number 18, what are my favorite fall TV shows? I don't watch TV, so I have no clue. So my favorite fall TV shows is whatever you all put on YouTube for the channels that I watch. So there are my top 10 and my fall questions to the answers. If you want to participate, you're welcome to participate. I'm not going to tag anybody because I think everybody that I would probably tag has already been tagged at least once. So I want to thank you guys for joining me here at the lock shop for this real quick video, and I will see you in my next video.